Hey everyone, Mark Hespin here, host of On the Mark on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. And it is time for our post-Week 15 NFL Power Rankings. Subscribe on the YouTube. Just subscribe and like below to the video you're watching at Mark Hespin on YouTube. Follow the show on the Mark KHMO on Facebook, or just tune in every Saturday morning on News Talk 1070 KHMO. 9:05 sharp. You can listen to the KHMO app as well. It's free to download. Download it, get on your phone. And then also you can always find me on all social media at Mark Hespin on X and Instagram, MarkHespen. It is the holiday sweater edition of the post-Week 15 Power Rankings. Christmas coming up on Monday. It's my Adler Planetarium Space Shuttle / Snowflake / Saturn and Jupiter sweatshirt. You may notice I have the Earth there and the moon there. Shout out to the Adler Planetarium. Spent a lot of good years there narrating shows, and I miss it. Shout out. Represent Chicago, Adler Planetarium. All right, let's get into a post-Week 15 NFL Power Rankings. What do you do with the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs? I mean, this is getting ugly. It's getting a mishmash. The Dolphins you throw in there. I'll try to put it all in order for you as always. And then afterwards, I want to take an opportunity to talk a little bit about the Chicago Bears. The window was open and closed really quickly for the fun idea of a playoff run. So my thoughts on the Bears, especially like what's really to blame at the core for the problems with the Chicago Bears. Let's jump into it though. The good teams, top 10 in the Power Rankings. We'll start number 10. Welcome to the Power Rankings for the first time this season. It took them 15 weeks to get here, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are officially in the Power Rankings in at number 10. How do you not like the Bucs right now? I mean, they're playing really, really good football. They're running the ball well. Baker Mayfield, perfect passer rating at Lambeau Field, 4 touchdowns. They look terrific. Now, I know Green Bay's defense is nothing to write home about. They're not exactly elite, but a heck of a performance by the Bucs. They are in the lead in the NFC South, and they're a team that is starting to look like, hey, a home playoff game with that crowd kind of playing with house money. Baker Mayfield resurrecting his career, having a Geno Smith type year last year. They may not be exactly the team you want to play in the first round of the playoffs if you're one of those teams that make it into the wild card. Shout out to the Bucs. Heck of a season right now. Can they close it on out? I kind of like them a lot this week versus the Jags. The Jags are floundering and the Bucs are playing good football. Number 9, they were number 9 last week. They're number 9 this week again. The Cleveland Browns. Listen, you beat the Bears when the Bears had you beaten all game long, and the Bears do what they do. They blow a fourth quarter lead. I can't move you up in the power rankings, but I'm certainly not going to move you down. Joe Flacco did enough at the end of the game to win that game. Listen, the Browns defense, we've been saying it all year, they're a top 5 defense. They're an elite defensive unit. They are the wild card team of the AFC that every one of the division winners who's not the 1 seed is going to be bummed they have to play, because their quarterback is going to get beat up against that Cleveland Browns defense. Their offensive line is going to get beat up against that Cleveland Browns defense. And the Cleveland Browns right now, if Joe Flacco can find a way to keep this magic rolling, no reason why this Browns team can't make themselves a playoff run. Are they a Super Bowl team? Probably not. But can they be a really big spoiler in the AFC playoffs? Absolutely. Eagles at number 8. They fall all the way to number 8. This is a little bit of recency bias. You know me with my power rankings. I try to not fall too much into the recency bias. I still try to rank it based on teams I actually think who's better than who and how far they can go in the playoffs. Well, right now, I just cannot trust the Eagles offense at all. Offensively, they're a mess. You know, weeks like 2 through 7 and 8 in the power rankings, one of the reasons why I was so high in the Eagles, had them consistently at number 1, because they were running the football really well. The Eagles are nowhere near the top of the league, as far as the top 3 or 4 teams running the football anymore, like they were at the beginning of the year. They've lost that ability to just rely on that run game, the play action pass. Their offense looks stagnant. Everyone was worried about the defense. They they demote Sean Desai, they promote Matt Patricia, but this offense needs a complete reset, reboot. Nick Sirianni, listen, they got to get it together. You got 3 really easy games: Giants, Cardinals, Giants. Find a way to get your offense rolling, find the mojo, find the momentum, and the Eagles should be fine heading into the playoffs. But right now, there's definitely panic in Eagles land. Cowboys at number 7. I had to put the Cowboys above the Eagles just because that game was still so recent. A week and a half ago, the Cowboys just drubbed the Eagles on national TV. Yes, the Cowboys then got drubbed by the Bills, but I still think right now the Cowboys are better than the Eagles. I hate to say it because you know me, and I've been anti the Cowboys bandwagon all year. Look, the Cowboys, what they proved to me in that loss of the Bills is They reassured my strong feeling that this is a team that, unless everything breaks their way as far as playing playoff games at home and getting good matchups, there's no reason why this team is going to make a Super Bowl run. If they're going to play at home the whole way and they don't leave Jerry's world and they get some upsets and some weaker opponents show up to Dallas, then the Cowboys can make an NFC Championship run, sure. But right now, getting by the Niners, having to play on the road, don't trust the Cowboys very, very much at all. I trust them more right now than the Eagles because I saw them beat the you-know-what out of the Eagles a week and a half ago. Bills at number 6. Now, this is a weird one. The Bills' worst record, and they've had some really bad losses over the course of the season, but 2 of their recent big wins, Philly and the Cowboys. Right now, I trust the Bills more than both those teams, absolutely. Josh Allen, James Cook, that's all you need to know. Stephon still have the weapons on the outside, but right now they're relying on the run game, which is just exactly what we've been begging the Bills to do for the last couple of years. Find the run game, find an identity. They have it right now. The mojo is high in Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills deserve right now to be considered one of the top 5, 6 teams in the NFL. They're playing like it. And they absolutely are poised for a deep run here in the playoffs if they can keep the stretch, stay hot down the stretch, and maybe even win the division still. The Dolphins at number 5. I'll put the Dolphins still ahead of the Bills right now because the Dolphins have the fast track still to the division, which I think then makes their road to the AFC Championship game much easier than Buffalo's road. The Bills, with the Dolphins, what I love so much about them is they had a great actual victory, but it also was the biggest moral victory of the weekend. So what do I mean? Normally, a moral victory is reserved for a team that loses, but they fought hard and felt like they could have won the game, right? No. The Dolphins had a win and a moral victory. What I mean by that is we watched them get embarrassed on Monday Night Football with no Tyreek Hill. And what do we all say? Without Tyreek Hill, what can they do? They're not the same team. What did they do? They sat Tyreek Hill, and against the top 5 defense in the Jets, they went out there and drubbed him. And they made Waddle Tyreek Hill and then just said, oh, yeah, no, we can actually still beat you without Tyreek Hill. That is a huge moral victory for the Dolphins. Huge confidence boost for everyone else on that squad that they're more than just Tyreek Hill. Big win for the Dolphins. They deserve the number 5 spot. Lions in the number 4 spot. Listen, I've been higher on the Lions than maybe anyone who puts themselves in the world of sports media that I know of. And part of it is just because the Lions play a brand of football that is going to be really successful here now at this point in time of the season. Everyone wants to talk about indoor cats and they don't play well on the road. Part of it is, Jared Goff has a bad rap of being outdoors in the cold December, January football. But the Lions are putting themselves in a spot where they may not have to play outside at all until they get to San Francisco in the playoffs. And they play a brand of football with the Detroit Lions where the weather in San Francisco is not going to be horrid. And they play a brand of football that is built for this type of weather. They run the ball so well. The Dolphins are one of the top 3 rushing attack teams in the NFL. In average yards per carry and total yards, that offensive line is fantastic. And the defense showed me enough last week to where it's like, okay, here we go. Taking down a high-flying, a really, momentum-driven right now Denver Broncos team. Love the Lions. Lions deserve the number 4 spot. I think they're the second-best team in the NFC. Chiefs at number 3. Now, I know the Lions beat the Chiefs. That was week 1. That was a world ago. I think a Lions-Chiefs matchup right now in a neutral field would be a pick'em. I'd slightly favor Kansas City because hard to beat a team twice in a year, and also Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they have Travis Kelce. Remember, the Chiefs were right in that game, and they didn't have Travis Kelce the first game of the year. The Chiefs, this was a really important win for them. They stopped the bleeding. And again, a moral victory in the sense that they put up points. Patrick Mahomes broke the 300-yard mark. I'd like to see them continue that hot streak on Christmas Day against the Raiders. Blow out the Raiders. Make it an easy game, just like you did against the Patriots. Have Kadarius Toney not drop balls to turn into interceptions, and you should, again, keep the momentum going of being one of the top 3 teams in the NFL. Ravens at number 2 all showed, and then the Niners at number 1. So, Ravens 1 and 2, and by this time next week, that ranking could be very different. We could put the Baltimore Ravens at the top, and depending on how that game goes, who knows, the loser of this game, how far they fall. If the Ravens get blown out, if the Niners get blown out, it may say a lot about these two teams. The Monday Night Football, the final game of Week 16 coming on up, is going to be an absolute all-timer. Ravens at the Niners, two best teams in football on Christmas Day. Can't get much better than that. Right now, I'll tell you, I'm leading Ravens. We'll break it down, the full game preview on the Market Newstalk 1070 KHMO, 9:05 sharp this Saturday. Quickly, I just want to mention, no Jags, Seahawks, Texans, Colts, Bengals, or Rams. Rams I really like, Bengals I really like, Colts I really like, Texans I really like. Seattle, huge win, bounce back, but I like all those other teams I mentioned more than Seattle. And with the Jags, I just don't know what to do with the Jags right now. They are just offensively a mess. And Trevor Lawrence does not look good, so I have no confidence putting them in the top 10. And part of me wanted to honor the Bucs a little bit by the Bucs are on a little bit of a hot streak. Throw them out there, put them in the top 10. Finally, I did mention I would talk about the Bears really quickly here. Here's what I'll say about the Chicago Bears. We as fans of the Chicago Bears and fans of Justin Fields, and me a big supporter of Justin Fields, have repeatedly said this team needs to be built in a way that the Baltimore Ravens are built. What did Baltimore do with Lamar Jackson on Sunday night? He did not have a giant stat line. They ran the ball down Jacksonville's throat. And late in the game, crucial moments, he made a couple big plays, trusted his big play receivers. But in the end, they leaned on their run game to get first down after first down late in the third, fourth quarter. They leaned on the run game. Even when they lost their dynamic home run hitting back, they just refilled in, retooled, new running backs coming near. Gus Edwards, throw him another one out there, and just keep running the football. The Ravens are leading the league in the NFL in rushing right now. Now, the Chicago Bears led the league in rushing last year. It didn't equal wins. But what did we say all last year? What did I say on my show all last year with the Bears? They had an identity. They were able to run the ball down your throat. Late in the game against a good Cleveland Browns defense, all the Bears need to do is string together a couple drives with a couple first downs. They could not lean on their run game. Khalil Herbert has been a disaster. Justin Fields still leads the team in rushing. D'Onta Foreman is fun, but we've already started to see why he's kind of just more of a he's like the Ryan Fitzpatrick of backup running backs, right? For a couple games, he's a really fun spark, but you can't rely on him week in and week out. And I fell for it too. All offseason was saying, by midseason, Roschon Johnson will be the starting back. He'll be the bell cow back. They're going to run the ball like they did last year. And they're just not. They're just not. This is a better offensive line for the Bears last year. The group of running backs, I would say, is slightly less talented because David Montgomery is a stud. You see what he's doing in Detroit, and I can't believe the Bears just let him walk for nothing and didn't sign him to the deal that Detroit sent him to, which is a very, very affordable deal, and the Bears had the cap space to do it. And so I blame Luke Getsy, and I blame Matt Eberflus. You're the head football coach. You're supposed to create the identity for your football team. You're a defensive guy. You would think you would want to lean hard on your run game to win games and use your quarterback then in the play action with your big play receivers and big play tight end. No, it's nothing but shotgun. It's nothing but four wide. It's nothing but bubble screens. The identity of this team is completely gone, and it's making Justin Fields look bad when he's a quarterback who's built to get under center, play action, move the ball like Lamar Jackson in the pistol, play action, run the football. Lamar gets it, and his offensive coordinator gets it. Bears don't. I blame the Bears coaching staff. This is again on Eberflus and Getsy. No identity to this team as far as committing to the run, being a physical football team, and helping Justin Fields succeed. It's disappointing, and it looks like at this point in time in Chicago, it's going to lead to all of them needing a new job in 2024. My feelings are still the same. I'd still continue to build around Justin Fields. I'd get the right coach in that wants to build around Justin Fields. I would draft a ton of players on the offensive line, the defensive line, continue to build up fronts and build the most physical football team in the NFC. That's how I would continue to build this football team, this roster, adding a player like a Marvin Harrison Jr. or trading the first overall pick for a haul for a Max Crosby and a bunch of first round picks. That's what I would do. Feels though like right now the writing's on the wall, new coaching staff, new quarterback in 2024 for the Bears. Worst things in the world to do, but that's my thoughts. That's my feelings here. We head into Week 16. We'll see you on the Mark Newstalk 1070 KHMO and KHMO app Saturday morning, 9:05 sharp.